Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And as you guys know, I have been missing, in my opinion anyway, too many stories. Okay, too many stories that are very important. And I wanted to highlight two of them and why we should be talking about them. Now, there's Epstein developments that I haven't went over, and a lot of you know that I've been at the forefront of that for years. I will continue to cover Epstein. I didn't want to include it in this AMA because I wanted to focus on these two. But the overall predator class and the way they treat human beings sexually is appalling. It's something that needs to be addressed. And before we get into Joey B, Joey Biden, and these latest sexual assault allegations that stem from the 90s and an aide where he approached her and apparently, let's be nice about it the way everybody else has, penetrated her with his fingers, right? We've all known he's a creep. We've seen the videos. We know he's visibly senile right now. And the establishment still pushes him. Again, because they treat us like children. They act like anybody on the right or the left would go for him, right? Because they also try to present Trump as this rogue who, isn't a real Republican. I mean, the establishment hack that Joe Biden has been throughout his career is appalling and absurd. But we're going to get to him in a minute, okay? I want to focus on Dan Schneider because this trended. And by the way, get your questions in. As always, I will take all super chats, but I will go in order the best I can on any subject. But obviously, Schneider, the predator class, these people that are abusive not only to women but children need to be exposed. So the other day, yesterday, Dan Schneider started to trend on Twitter. And apparently it was because of Ariana Grande and this show Victorious. And the thing is that Dan Schneider himself, it was the 10th anniversary of that, and this is one of those very big produced stars that was part of this Hollywood, Disney, Nickelodeon push of children. And if you've seen my videos on people like Bella Thorne, if you've paid attention to, the Corey Feldman and Corey Haim revelations, etc., you'll know, and many others, Todd Bridges would be another one that came forward, that Hollywood is a cesspit for the abuse of children. And just so everybody understands the extent of Schneider, iCarly, I believe Jeanette McCurdy is one of his alleged victims. There's numerous pictures of him. Just inappropriate. I mean, that's an inappropriate way to have a child next to you. Is that your child? Are you related to that child? No, you're not. No, you're not. And there's Ariana Grande right there with him. Over here, I do want to highlight this because this is Britney Spears' little sister who got pregnant, I think, at 14. I'm not sure who they've said the baby's father is. Okay? Actually, look at that. It comes up in the thumb, but I did this video. There's Jeanette McCurdy. If you want to see that one, that's past work I've done on Schneider. Anyone's welcome to do that. I mean, again, some of these pictures, they should turn your stomach, right? They should make you want to vomit. But since that class of people is protected and promoted, right? You've never really heard this story in the mainstream media. Quietly walked away from Nickelodeon about a year and a half ago, etc. Okay, so I thought that, I want to notice that a lot of people, did go after Schneider, but they went after him because of his weird foot fetish more than anything. It's nice that some people, okay, were posting videos that were informative, that were like, oh yeah, that's right, Dan Schneider, he's a creep. But he's not in jail, is he? Right? Just like they haven't found Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Just perpetually in court, and these people are protected. So that's why it shouldn't surprise anybody that the media has completely ignored these allegations against Biden. Can you imagine if this was a Trump aide that came forward and said this? Not here to defend Trump, but the double standard would be overwhelming. Overwhelming. So once again, it's just another example of how a certain class of people can act a certain way. And don't get me wrong, we shocked the world with Harvey Weinstein. 23 years in prison. As far as I know, he's still in Rikers. Apparently even tested positive for COVID-19. But you can assume if that is the case and he wasn't a privatized wing, that he has the best doctors. Because, again, he's still part of that privileged class. Can't believe he got the 23 years. But we'll see the overall outcome. All right. As I promised, we will do the Ask Me Anything. And we will go down the line. Let's do it. Let's see. The testing for COVID-19 is used to gather our DNA. I mean, possibly. I'm not saying that is or is not the case, that it would gather our DNA. Obviously, you could get our DNA from it, whether or not they're going to keep it, etc. There's going to be a lot of data kept no matter what on this. Okay? Burmese Brigade, what's up, Brian Jones? Thank you, Alyssa. Got a notification for once. All right, cool, fat boy. What's up? Greetings from Canada. What up, Burmese surfers? What's up, Brigade? What up, Bailey? What's up, Melody? What's up, Brigade? Yes, Dan Schneider is... Oh, there's the jump. See, I didn't do that. Dan Schneider is somebody I feel that needs to be exposed on a huge level and needs to be focused on more. What's happening? I am Derp. UK versus Boris Johnson is being reported by the government that China is lying about its COVID-19 numbers. No kidding. You think that China might be lying about their numbers? Pretty sure they are. But again, when you do a tabletop exercise 201, right? When you do that, and the Chinese CDC and George Gao is there, and now you have to believe him because he's an authoritative source along with the World Health Organization, right? They're authoritative sources. Let's see. I see Alyssa's here. How are you? What's up, Gritch? It's been obvious for a while that China has been lying. Not only senile, but he also has sexual charges against him now. Yes, absolutely. And remember, I played the video of him back in 2007 during the 2008 run where, we had to say something nice about the person next to you, and Dennis Kucinich was next to him. He's like, Dennis, I like his wife. That's the kind of guy Joey B is. He's a real creep. Let's be honest. He's a visual creep. Can you imagine if Joey B rolled up on you and started grabbing your wife, your sister, your daughter in any of the ways you've seen on video? Gross. Damn, Tulsi promoted him. Not too surprised, Jason. Yeah, it was very upsetting. I briefly discussed that. If you want to discuss it at length, let's talk about it for a little while. Yeah, I feel betrayed just like everybody else. I still think that because she was the only one up there talking anti-war, etc. And now we have a whole cut system of no debates where they're just giving us somebody that's senile, apparently. I mean, could 2020 be a more bizarre year? It's bizarre. Let's see. Got a notification, but 1 minute late. Well, hello. Bill 5717. Anyone familiar? Not by the number, no. Yeah, girl, Tulsi is officially establishment. It was upsetting. Hi, also from Canada, Fat Boy. I know that, but I am doing that to inform those that thought that this was under control, that they were wrong. This is not under control, unfortunately. Listen, I'm hoping that the United States tackles it like no other country. That not only the antivirals are used, but the vitamin C treatment that now is being used in New York and Arizona, that the MSC stem cell treatments there, that we can talk about, especially some type of steroid treatments in conjunction with the vitamin C. Since a lot of these people are dying from septic shock. Let's see. That's why his arse got kicked out, Nick. I'm doing all right, Gritch. Let's see. If you don't want, they may die without knowing they were wrong and they can't let it happen. Jason, have you heard anything about, again, I know Bobby Mack. I don't know what this is. Somebody has to send it to me. Things are going well, thank you. The Next News Network did a great interview with Doc Shiva. Check it out. Interesting. Dan Schneiderberg, is it? Did he change his name? I know he's been in Hollywood for quite some time. If we don't stand up now, those pedos will have complete control. I mean, right now, you've already had a predator class for generations. I mean, look at the Romans, who had houseboys. Look at, people in Muslim cultures that are among the elites that have houseboys. Look at Lord Mountbatten and how the FBI knew that he was a pedophile. And, he ended up working in NATO later. Now, never outed as that. Part of the royal family. Look at Jimmy Savile. I keep continuing here. Hollywood is the correct spelling, or you call it Holly Weird. Was just watching Jamie Deluxe videos on Schneider yesterday. He's so gross. Yeah, Jamie Deluxe does have some good videos on him. Okay. The guy is Fat AO. First reported case in my county today. Again, there's been selective testing, etc. I have a video of a guy outside of Brooklyn where they're taking out a body. All these people are pointing, by the way. You know what? It's time to take on some of the fantasies real quick. We're going to take out fantasies for a moment. Now, there are people that are promoting things like, oh, we're going to have 3 days of darkness or 10 days of darkness, and it's taking down the cabal. This is all fake. That's not the case. Again, my local hospital has 6 cases. People are working later hours. Their beds are filling very quickly. And I think hopefully we've gotten ahead of it. People are promoting videos of people walking on the street, not in the hospitals. Do you think that this is spilling out onto the streets and that hospitals that literally have hundreds, if not thousands of beds, don't have the patients in certain rooms? They're building makeshift facilities not only all around the city and Long Island, but outside of the city and now in Central Park. So anybody that would believe any of this nonsense is nonsense. And I'm going to go even further than that. I saw this today. People still holding on to the imagination land fantasy that Tom Hanks and his wife were arrested. All right. And this is from somebody that's imaginary, Casey Boggs. As a former serviceman in the United States Marine Corps, I 100% validate that is an FBI insignia with an elite group of capturing high-level targets. Ask the question, why? Now, obviously, anybody can find the video and whatever. He's saying it's this. Let me show you imagination lines. Aviation wings. Okay? Is that right? You sure it's not one of the other, 1,000 different aviation wings that pilots wear? You imagination land promoting grifters that make me sick? Stop. We already are living under levels of martial law. Stop. I'm in New York. Listen, whatever Cuomo did, whether it was an act or not, but saying that you couldn't enforce that it was un-American, that is correct. Fascistic, what's going on in Rhode Island? Who knows? I still don't believe he's genuine, but maybe, being even a mafia boss, he's not willing to go, as dark as some of these other people are. And if so, good for him, because he's corrupt. Believe me, he's very corrupt. Oh, let's see. What do we got here? Burma's working hard, thank you. 14, that's not good. Jamie Deluxe is amazing. Nick and Disney Channel is straight out of grooming palaces from them. Hollywood, the magic wand of the world. Yes, Hollywood. That's what magicians made their wood out of, that type of holly tree. Demons, brah. Human demons. Good to hear, Gritch. Holly Weird sure is sick and twisted a lot. I agree. The swamp is getting cleaned out now as we speak. Goodbye. Goodbye, Cindy Lou. We'll see you later. We'll get rid of that person. Hide user. We don't need that trolling. Again, goodbye. Goodbye. Right? Yeah. Is Oprah under arrest too? Are there 15,000, 100 million indictments that are still sealed? Oh, thumbs it up, people. Bleach could not clean the so-called swamp. That's true. We got rid of her. Don't worry. I wish, Cindy, I agree. It was only bad when it's the other side that gets caught. There is no other side. That's the other thing. The predator class doesn't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, if you're left or right, if you're conservative or liberal. They don't care. They don't care at all. I found some websites lately where you see all the stars doing the all-seeing eye and six, sex and pyramid rock shiza. It's a whole A-lister of Hollywood. How come? Who tells them to do that? No one's saying that there isn't an occultic tinge to Hollyweird and to celebrities. And in fact, if you go to my Rockfin, right, what was my so far exclusive video this week? Should be doing more. I'll be doing one Tuesday. Maybe I'll do one tomorrow as well. But I did an exclusive breakdown of Madonna's occultic ritual. If you want to check that out, that one and her coronavirus video, the whole thing. I think it's like a 30-minute video. So if I've covered the occult and Hollyweird. I've covered the occult and politics. In fact, I did so a long time before the Q hoax. All right, a long time before the Q hoax. I did a full movie, Invisible Empire, released in 2010, that had a section on it. I did work on it prior to that, in 2006, 7, 8, 9, since then. Okay? I'm just saying. Joey Jojo. What up, Joey Jojo? Remember, we will keep going down the line. Hopefully it doesn't jump on me, guys. Let's see. Gonzo. Q is controlled opposition, just like Tulsi and the rest of them. I would say Tulsi's a lot better than Imagination. At least she's in the mix. Oh, sorry, fat boy. Everyone in the UK is under house arrest. Exactly. Listen, we're all under some form of martial law right now. Like it or not. Stores are forcefully closed. Hey, what's up, Drufus? I see you in there. Wow. Wow. We got a lot. There we go. All right. It's going to be a president. Oh, hope they fix his brain. What do you think is next, Jason? Honestly, I think more people end up dying, and people start taking this more as a reality, unfortunately. I'm hoping that, that's not the case. I hope that we start moving towards not only the antivirals like hydroxychloroquine, right? But the other ones I've named, I want to move towards the stem cells. I want to move towards the vitamin C and the steroids. And hopefully we can save a lot of lives, right? And then we can do massive testing. I'm fine with that. I want it all to be voluntary. All right? I don't want medical martial law. I don't want a forced vaccination. I think financially, forget about it. I mean, we've taken the fist in the anus. Like deep. You pull your lungs out, fist in the anus. I mean, for $1,200 or $2,400 or $3,600, give me a break. Don't need bleach. It's sunshine that these lizards need to clean up their crap. Yeah, 6.2 trillion, right? Exactly. Could you see Biden playing a drooling fool to cover for all his Chinese corruption? The DNC isn't going to run him. I don't think they're going to run him either. He can barely speak on web videos. It's cartoon level. I agree. Much respect for all the fine people here. Well, thank you. Who did it, and how you doing, Drufus? Have you talked to Dylan Avery? How's he doing? What's he up to these days? I think he's still working on that Building 7 documentary. I have talked to him, but he's in Otsego. So that's still in my county, I believe. But, we're still online. I should hit him up, see what he's up to. They have your DNA at birth. Hello. Hey, Drufus, Chinese communists, never. Hey, Gritch, Drew, Alyssa. What up, Brigade? Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share, guys. We do these as well. We do them live. Biden said himself, we should believe all women. So, Biden is an atrocious human being, not only as a misogynist, but many other things. Talk about deep state. That guy helped cover up 9/11. Knows Pakistan's role. Okay? Total establishment politician. Literally, like shaved Bill Barr's nuts on the Senate floor for approval when he was going to be the youngest attorney general. They didn't even take a vote. He was down there. I love you, Bill. We did that in the deep state Bill Barr dive. Go check it out for yourself. Let's see. The important part was about how China is lying. Now, yeah, I agree that China was lying and that it is important. Look at the first world nations. That's where you got to look. How do you feel about Mark Dugan and the info he is bringing out about the 2016 Democratic elections in Seth Rich. I'm not sure what that information is or if it's something I've covered. But if you've got any kind of information that I haven't covered on Seth Rich, I'd be very interested in seeing it, and you could send it my way via Twitter. Tulsi Gabbard, once CFR, always CFR. And again, Council on Foreign Relations, not a fan. Oh, how come there is no pandemonium and economic shutdown for Zika, H1N1, SARS, MERS? This virus is real, but the media capitalized on it to get Trump. It's not the media to get Trump, you guys. My God. I wish people would think outside of just the United States box. This is a global thing. That's what people can't get their head around. All right. Everything makes this thing look like a bioweapon. From the fact that it attacks men more than it does women, from the fact that it does damage to the lungs, possibly the testicles now, to the fact that it has that HIV delivery system that's been written about, right? To the fact that it doesn't affect children as badly. To the fact that it exacerbates pre-existing conditions, including unknown ones, right? All these different things. So it screams bioweapon, all right? And I don't think it's a nation state, whether or not it was in a Chinese lab or a U.S. lab or an Israeli lab, anything like that, doesn't really matter. Because you have a predator class above nation states that are clamoring for global governance and the rule over people and openly talking about forced sterilizations and vaccinations that have had wet dreams about a virus taking out humanity. So if you don't think that maybe one of them just decides to drop it like it's hot, I don't know what to tell you. These are psychopaths, sociopaths, the predator class. My father is a devoted QAnon follower. Help me. I mean, did you just see what I did with the, ask him where Tom Hanks is, why he's not in prison, or Hillary Clinton, or John Podesta, or John Podesta literally, legit should be in a prison cell for many, many crimes that were exposed in there. Many, many crimes. Period. You ask any parent if they were on a group email where 3 children, all under the age of 11, who were named, would be in a pool for somebody's entertainment and how they would feel about that. Any thinking human being. Let's continue on. All we need is an alien invasion. You know, Joey Jojo. Let's talk about that, because I talked about this briefly, and I actually played it. Let's see if we can. I mean, we're gonna have to go way down, way down. But as I played it earlier, and this was way back. But this again, the WHO, the WHO, the World Bank, they all want you to give up for global government, right? And my Event 201 series started getting commented on by what appears to be some kind of weird bot pro Johns Hopkins Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation account, right? It retweets itself. One of the actresses was in there. Man, so much stuff. See, I mean, guys, look how much stuff I'm going through here. Anyway, we should be there soon. Anyway, this bot account comes in, and I mean, it's an obvious bot account, but it did have a really interesting video that I think is important. Let's see if we can get there. Wow, thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share, guys. I mean, by the way, if you haven't noticed, if I don't get to you on my notifications, sorry. It gets a little much. Is this going to be... There it is. This guy. This is the video right here. Listen what he says here, okay?
It's so painful to see the level of stigma we're observing. I remember once, this is long time ago, I was very, very young actually, and there was a lot of destabilization in the world, and somebody was asking a question. When do human beings stand as one? Was a question. And another one was responding, this is in school. When we have a common enemy from another planet.
Aliens. But hey, who needs aliens, right? WHO, and you've got a deadly virus.
There is a common enemy in this planet itself, where we need to fight in unison. And stigma, to be honest,
think about that,
is
Oh, sorry.
more dangerous.
You know, invoking that. I want to throw that out there. All right, let's continue on. Those were test runs to gauge public reaction. Since you got creeps on the green screen, have you ever looked into Terry Richardson and known what his deal is? People make a big deal of him. I'm not sure who Terry Richardson is. Maybe sounds kind of familiar, but I don't know if I've really explored whoever that is. It doesn't come to mind right out of the bat. Have you ever seen any of Sean Atwood's videos with Euro medical staff? Good work and grim preview of what's coming. Do you think we are being lied to about the death toll? Yes, I do, and no, I have not. But Atwood did start following this channel, so if you're watching, Sean, thank you very much. I'd love to. I actually tried to contact Sean Atwood during some of the Epstein stuff because I saw that he was doing reports on that as well. So, yeah, I'd love to collaborate with Sean and do a broadcast and talk to him. But no, I haven't seen his coronavirus stuff. I should check it out. Let's see. China lying means very bad things of how many people will actually die. I agree. But again, the WHO sits at a table at Event 201 with the Chinese CDC and George Gao. D's nuts. Who controls Q? Hello, all P. They are bought and paid for if they are running. HR 5717 is anti-Second Amendment. DNC machine wants Biden gone to put in Cuomo. I mean, I don't know how Cuomo is going to run. I don't know that Cuomo is going to run for president. Oh, that just jumped. I just don't. Maybe, maybe not. That seems like a lot. Oh, we got another super chat over here. Burms Brigade. Well, thank you, Bobby Mack. We appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let's see. HR 5717 is anti-Second Amendment. You mean like not letting me apply for a handgun for the last, 10 days almost in Otsego County in New York? Again, you could say it's not martial law, but when I can get a Big Mac, right, at takeout, or I can get a pizza delivered, but I can't get a handgun permit, what is that? And, again, Cuomo fighting Rhode Island, there's still checkpoints there. There's checkpoints in Florida. Your papers, please. What are you doing here? Even this county, we showed you the piece of paperwork. Safer at home. Hey, New Yorker that's not from Otsego County, sure, you rent a property here, but you're safer at home. Get the F out. Let's see what we got here. DNC machine wants Biden gone to put Cuomo. Thou shall not COVID thy neighbor's wife. Martyr. We know your stand. Please don't spam Jesuit stuff tonight. Well, thank you, Drufus. I appreciate that. David Wilcock to Cosmic Disclosure. It sounds like hackery. You want to talk about charlatans. I mean, that guy's terrible. He's the worst. The worst. I never do videos dedicated to attacking anybody, especially in the alternative media. Because why bother? Every once in a while, I'll do something, because Jones has a huge audience, and I get blowback, and people believe in, this is a Chi-Com thing or something like that, and I got to call it out. Or, if anybody saw me last month, talk to him right before CPAC in D.C., et cetera, whatever. That's a different story. But give me a break with this guy. Come on. Jason, a couple other YouTubers have noticed a rise in QVids. Yeah, of course they're trending. Fantasy World. Don't you think a little suspicious the timing of it goes along with all the CCP virus talk and mistrust of mainstream government? Listen, think about the delusionality that a cabal of actual elites, the ones that actually made money and consolidated power already during this, people like Bezos, their little minions in the Senate, right? The people that knew about the insider trading. That one guy that made 2.7 trillion, right? Something like that, or 2.6 billion on 27 million. Excuse me. I can't get them all right, folks. Those people obviously knew something was coming, but they wouldn't know about a purge for the deep state. And globally, everybody's going to help Trump, right? China's going to shut down their country and ruin their economy. Give me a break. So is Italy and Spain and Iran, because Iran loves Trump and their policies. I mean, At this point, I don't know how to describe it other than a severe form of mental retardation. That's all I can say. Okay? Let's keep going. State police have processed, nearly 40,000 background checks of people looking to buy guns in Oregon and resource. Yeah, I'm glad that again, some places have that. My state doesn't. Okay, Drew, my truth is your spam. Just do what you got to do to block me, tough guy. Come on, martyr. My truth is your spam. This isn't Ask Me Anything. I don't really have a lot of opinions on the Jesuits right now. Sorry. What do you think the end game is in this global takeover? I think it's a consolidation of power by the predator class at the very least. I think it's to further enslave us as a serf class. It already has gutted the middle class. A lot of small business owners, a lot of people won't recover from this. More suckling on the teat of government, more establishment of world government and its power and aid. Possibly a new form of digital currency at the end of it is something. You know, that would certainly be a goal of theirs, whether they get it passed. At the end of the day, though, after this, they've got the forever boogeyman of any virus, and it could happen again. I gotta look at whatever country handles this right and doesn't lock their people down and just leave after this, because this is insane. We're in insanity land. All right? Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share for those that are new. Have you seen the videos of the empty hospitals the mainstream says are overflowing? Hey, mentally ill person, okay? If you think that videos that are taken for 2 minutes in a lobby somewhere represent what's really going on in a New York or a Seattle, Washington hospital, again, you have a severe form of mental illness. That's what you have. I'll say it again. I am in Otsego County. There's Bassett. There's Fox. Okay? There's urgent care. I think overall in my county, if you count also all the way to Cooperstown, which is in my county, okay? It's not that far away. I think there's at least 6 hospitals here. All right? No one's saying that any hospitals, by the way, are overflowing yet. They aren't saying that. And if you look at New York, they say they're filling up. They still have the respirators. They still have the ventilators. Supposedly, the facial masks are getting there. They're getting the hydroxychloroquine. I'm not hoping for massive death, but they've set up these places. And, for instance, let's show people this too, because maybe you need to see it. Okay, I'm sure this is a setup, but this outside of Brooklyn.
This shit is for real, y'all.
I'm gonna mute him because he just keeps saying it. But look, it's normal to forklift somebody into what's going to be like a makeshift morgue, right? Because they're going to transport that person to a center where that person can be held. You got to understand. What's also going to be different about these people dying is that when your loved one dies of a heart attack, you get the body, you can have a funeral. Now, funerals are going to be overall postponed because you can't have groups of people. All right, that's going to be infuriating enough, right? And a lot of us aren't going to be able to say goodbye to our loved ones. But then after this, you're probably not even getting the body. You're probably not even getting the body. And Fauci's trying to say 200,000 deaths. Trump is now saying if it's under 100,000 in this country that we did a good thing. I mean, wow. I mean, think about 9/11. Think about a little over 3,000 people. Okay? Heard the internet is going down for 3 days. Yeah. I mean, Cynthia, I heard that I'll be riding a unicorn over a rainbow tomorrow with a little leprechaun on the back into a huge pot of gold that is actually a portal into the realm of the deep state where I will become a supernova-like Neo being from the Matrix and do a cool karate thing, kill all of them on behalf of Trump wearing a MAGA hat, and then come out with a pierced penis of Q. How about that? How about that? That's going to happen too. What do you think? My goodness. Hey there. I mean, come on. What do you think about Nathan Rich's COVID timeline? I don't know that I've seen Nathan Rich's COVID timeline. A virus cannot live outside a host's biological body, so it is impossible to be airborne. Research it yourselves. Sorry, just joined, off topic. I've heard these things. I don't know that that's the case. Should have been marching along. We do not consent. They're all pedophiles and need to come down to justice. Mountbatten. Apparently that was what a lot of people did name him behind his back. So how does UFO disclosure fit into all this? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because I don't want to get into UFO disclosure. My goodness. Let's see. My urethra is overflowing. Hey there, good man. Check. Oh, my God. Melody. Oh, wow. 25,000 people live watch somebody that tells fairy tales. Well, good for them. Well, good. Maybe I'll start reading Mother Goose here on air, and I'll get pop-up books, so we'll have nice big pictures, and that'll make everybody feel good. I don't do feel-good videos. Sometimes they feel good when you're exposing evil, sure. But I don't sell, some people have tried to say fear porn. Talk about hopium and nonsense and grifting. I mean, Gary Grifter. Martyr, just saying you are very repetitive. Thank you, Drufus, appreciate that. Moderating and saving the day saving the world one day at a time. Is there anything Trump can do to turn the economy around by election time? People are not grasping this. You know what? That's because they're not refitting your arenas yet. That's because it hasn't hit a lot of Americans yet how real this thing is going to be. 1929 meets 9/11 is COVID 1984. Let's see. LOL. Hello from Dunkirk, New York. Hope everybody stays safe. Why would you? Grifty McGrift. It's tribulations. Trump is Satan. Wouldn't go that far. We need a planetary reboot. No, we do not. Why do we need a planetary reboot? Why? There have always been oppressors. And what we need to realize is that the new civil rights movement is you and me. It's you and me. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, a man. Doesn't matter if you're 20 or you're 85. Doesn't matter if you drive a Ferrari or a Ford. Doesn't matter if you have a car or a bike. All right? You got a big family or a little one. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Doesn't matter if your bank account has 10,000, 100,000, or even 10 million in it. Because you ain't shit to them. You're nothing. You're a worm. You're less. You're an ant. You're sheeple. I hate to say it, but that's how they treat you. Pat you on the head. Predator class style. And anybody who buys into this, this hopium Q crap, you're just another one of those suckers, man. You're not on the real civil rights train. Speaking out against the oppressors and their minions. I'm sorry, I hate to tell you. Thumbs this video up, subscribe and share to the Burmese Brigade. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Are the Cupids still thinking the military is going to root out Hollywood? Yeah, they do believe that for some reason. We're not doomed. I mean, don't get me wrong. It ain't looking great, but hopefully there's a lot of pushback. Hopefully even people that have taken advantage of situations are going to stand up against this. And again, I don't think Trump is one of the quote-unquote bad guys. I think he got caught off guard. But I think he has horrible people surrounding him. And he's made some horrible decisions. And this is not 57D chess, okay? You should do a show with Richard Dolan. I would do a show with Richard Dolan. I respect Richard Dolan. I think Richard Dolan's done some really interesting stuff. Man, I love it when JB does voices. Thanks, Scott. My state isn't locked down, even though they're saying social distancing and closing everything earlier, closed completely, but people are still getting together in small groups. Yeah, but that's all going to go away soon. Will Cox and Corey Good are both lying con men. I don't even know who Corey Good is. Q-Cons. That's a good one. I like that. As it FQ, is Trump's playing the good cop role? I think that Trump's just playing the what can I do role. Again, Just like when he gets up there and he starts talking about the military-industrial complex and we're getting out of Syria. All the rhetoric in the world didn't get us out of Syria, didn't get him to tell the truth about Duma. Did it? Did it? Any clue as to whether we all have the virus and the serious illness are people who are getting hit with other stuff as well? I would say this, Life of Brian. Again, until you have random testing and you're testing asymptomatic people, which we've not done at all in this country, then you're never going to know. And then people are going to freak out no matter what. That's the huge problem. And we could talk about clusters and point of contact. That was all irrelevant when this thing began. And it should have never been done. I've said it before. I'll say it again. In January, we should have mass manufactured tests. And we should have given them to places, especially cities, for people that wanted to take them. And taken away the stigma of the whole thing. But that's not what we did. And now, because of where we're at, we should be promoting, again, not a vaccine and not so much the antivirals, in my opinion, although, hey, I'm all about them if they're going to save lives. But, again, let's talk about the stem cells, which we've never promoted in this country, all right? And let's talk about vitamin C, which is in abundance intravenously with steroid treatments. Apparent epidemiology would be the same. Might be why they don't test asymptomatics. Exactly, and I hate that. I think it's ridiculous. Let's see, what do we got? They are frauds. Q-tips. Q-tips is awesome. I've seen several hospitals empty, testing lines empty. Yes, I've seen some of the testing lines empty as well. Because a lot of people that bought into the initial fear lined up in the first couple of days. All right? Even Fauci came out saying it was less lethal than the common flu. This is all nonsense. He never said that. He never said this was less lethal than the common flu. I've never seen that. In fact, I saw him lie at one point when he said it was 10 times as lethal, but right before that gave a number of, 3%? And it was really 30 times, right? 30 times because it was 0.1 for the flu. So, I mean, I don't know where you're getting your information, Stephen Strickland. Cynthia Paul, gotta rid this planet of all evil garbage out there. That'll never happen. Evil and good will always exist, in my opinion. I wish it wasn't that way, but I think that, good is meant to fight evil. And there are gray areas, and we're all challenged, and nobody's the greatest person in the world. Right? Josh Freeman, what up, Burmis? Do you see all of this blowing over? No. Like a year from now, we might be like, dang, remember the whole listen, a year from now, I don't think it's going to be blowing over. Did 9/11 just blow over? Or was it constant in our face for 5, 10, 15 years? Right? Before they morphed Al-Qaeda into ISIS as the main enemy, right? I mean, they started doing that with Syria and all that other stuff. But you understand what I'm saying, right? So, no, this is a global human transformative event. So blowing over, no, this is going to be media madness. That's why I'm covering it so much. It's hard not to. Q is there to keep you in your house. Man, it's true. Propaganda News Network, all about. JB, have you heard that a lot of the tests will give a positive to several strains? Yeah, now I'm hearing there's all these strains. I don't know what to say to that because there's so many different types of tests. What I can tell you is that they're not doing the types of tests that they were doing in China all the way back in March 4th, which is over 3 weeks ago, which were EKG tests on the lungs and doing massive amounts during the day. I think that's really important to point out, that we haven't done that for testing, right? So, again, something worth thinking about. Let's see. Is there any other super chats I missed? Because I think I'm going to jump out of here, guys. Thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. Obviously, we're going to continue on and do the rest of the event 201 series. I want to remind people that if you want to financially support me, I've got the GoFundMe. The new month will begin on the 1st. I want to thank everybody that's donated already this month. Tuesday, we will have a definite new video over on Rockfin. Make sure to thumbs this up, subscribe, and share. I absolutely love you guys. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the flip side.